Growing up, it was different. It was different growing up with a sibling that you can't talk with. Being able to talk about her favorite things using an app that I had created for her. I think that was one of the first times I was able to communicate with her kind of like I would communicate, with anybody else, with someone that was able to talk. And so that was kind of a special moment for me. Hello, my name is Archer. I am the creator of Freespeech. I am the oldest in my family. I have one sister, Della, who is nonverbal. She has a rare genetic disorder called ASXL3, also known as Bainbridge-Ropers Syndrome. And, I think a lot of people, envision me having a sister and I talk with her, and it's like, that just doesn't really happen. And it's always kind of been a dream of mine to be able to communicate with her one day in the same way that I would communicate with anybody else. So a lot of these other applications, they can cost hundreds of dollars. And the problem is that these apps have a lot of issues with them. They can be hard to use, difficult to use. I checked on the App Store and I was looking through and I really didn't see a lot of good alternatives. And so I wanted to turn that issue that I saw into a free and open source version that anyone can use and anyone can contribute to. I've always been into coding. I've always been into computers. It wasn't school. It wasn't necessarily someone guiding me to do programming. It was things like this, things where I saw something in the world where like, hey, look, this needs to be a thing. I want this to be a thing. Freespeech is a free and open source AAC alternative to a lot of the paid and closed source applications that exist out there. Obviously, my sister, to me, is going to be the most important beta tester for the software, so I really model the app with her in mind. There is definitely a shift whenever she's able to use Freespeech and she's able to pull up these things that she wants to talk about, things that she likes, things that she enjoys, and she's able to communicate it like anybody else would, through the iPad. I remember when I was really young, I had a really bad stutter. I still have it today a little bit with anxiety. Anxiety can kind of trigger it, but back then it was like anything could set it off. And it was very frustrating. I spent maybe 4 years in speech therapy, trying to fix it. And obviously nowadays it's better, but I remember when I was really young, that was a big frustration. My parents would always maintain patience with me. They would always make sure that I could say what I want to say. And I think that was amazing. Maybe that was maybe a little bit of an inspiration for creating Freespeech and this whole issue that I see. That experience I had when I was younger kind of like subconsciously affected my aspirations to help other people communicate. Even if it helps one person, even though that one person is my sister, it's still worth it to me. It's still worth it to me that I was able to put in those hours, put in that time, and put in that stress and everything to help one person be able to communicate more effectively in this world.